Hey yarny friends, if you are a mid-size or a plus-size girl like me, I have got some information that I would love to share with you since I just finished up a second hexagon cardi and I made some modifications this time that helped me feel a little bit more confident wearing it. If this is something that is interesting for you and you'd like to know, please stick around. So I will have a quick, brief disclaimer. I have not been feeling very well, so I have been putting off making this video, but because of the fact that I used Hirschner's Witch's Brew for this cardigan, I wanted to get it out before Halloween. So I am definitely like a little more congested and stuffed up, but I am doing fine. That is just unfortunately the way it is. I am going to be filming a couple videos together today. Probably for the next few videos, I am going to sound like this. So please bear with me, but I am on the mend. So a while back, I made a different hexagon cardi and it was very basic and I really liked it. I did make it out of Red Heart Super Saver. I entered it in my county fair and did win a blue ribbon on it. But it's one of those where I'm not really sure if I'll end up wearing it. It's pretty boxy, and while I think it's very pretty, I just don't know if it's something that I will keep for myself or if I will gift this one to somebody else. So when I decided to make a hexagon cardi out of this Witch's Brew, I wanted to make some modifications so that I know I will wear it. And full disclaimer, I'm not going to be wearing this year round. This is kind of an October type situation. You definitely probably could. I just personally won't. I think it's super fun for October. Probably not an all year situation. This one, I did use 2 balls of the Witch's Brew. So about 900 to 1,000, I don't know what that was there. About 900 to 1,000 yards in this. I am probably like a large mid-size or small plus size. I usually wear about a 16 in things, if that helps give you a little bit of perspective on this. I am fairly short as well, so I am 5'4". So let's get started with the very first thing I did with making this cardigan. I didn't follow a pattern. So a hexagon cardi starts with a hexagon granny square. It's just like any other basic granny square, except you have 6 clusters instead of 4. You make 2 of these panels and then you sew them together and it miraculously makes a sweater. It's kind of like magic. Anyway, what I did when making my panels is I just made them, because you're folding them in half, I just made each panel about the size of my shoulders so that it wouldn't be big and bulky. With the first one I made, the shoulders were coming all the way down here. I just didn't want all that extra fabric on me. So I kept it a little more trim right here, and that also kept it a little bit shorter. Honestly, if I make another one, I might make it a little bit smaller because you can always add on the outside in order to maybe make it a little wider if I wanted more coverage like up here, because I think I might actually want mine a little bit shorter, which is this kind of the first and second thing is instead of doing a big oversized, I went with more of a cropped, and I like how this fits. I just feel like it brings it in a little bit closer here instead of kind of rounding out and coming down further. I like a big oversized sweater as much as everyone, but to me, I am kind of on a journey of trying to find clothes that work in harmony with my body a little bit better. And if you haven't seen my Feel Confident in Crochet video where I talked about that a little bit more, I will link that above for you. I like the croppedness aspect of this. So a couple things you can do as well that are a little bit smaller and a little bit different modifications is go ahead and make some balloon sleeves. I really like how these turned out. In my first hexagon cardi, I did like the big bell sleeves, which I am kind of like a 70s girl at heart, so I love a big flowy bell sleeve. But again, it adds a lot of extra fabric. And what I did was, as it got down, I mean, I did a couple rows of decreases and then just a couple rows to make like the end of the sleeve right there. And when I bring my arms up, I know it looks a little bit short, but when I have my arms down at the side, this fits me perfectly. But by doing that, it does give me a little bit more wrist definition, and I really like how that looks. And it just shows, you know, like a thinner part of my body right there at the sleeve instead of having, you know, 8 inches of extra fabric. Now, one of the things I would encourage you to do if you are wanting to make some modifications is to use a drapier yarn. Now, I had already purchased this Halloween yarn and I wanted to use it for this. It's not a drapey yarn. It is definitely softer than a Super Saver, but it's still kind of along that lines. It is a basic yarn. It is a value yarn. So if you were using something very drapey, like this Soft Secret, you know, it is going to hug your body a little bit more, where the stiffer yarn definitely creates more of like a puffiness around you. So a softer yarn will make it drape and cling to your curves a little bit more. Since that wasn't an option with this particular cardigan, I used a much larger hook than the yarn recommended. I want to say it was like a 5, let me look it up. So this says to use an I-9 hook. So is that a 5 or a 5.5? And I used a 6.5 for mine. And I think it worked out better because it did just create a little more drapiness. In the Super Saver Ombre hexagon cardi I made, I used the appropriate hook size and it just contributed to that stiff look of the fabric. And again, I just think that the drapier is really going to help hug your curves and just keep it a little more form-fitting and just maybe make you feel a little more comfortable and not overpowered by a big stiff cardigan. Let me go ahead and show you the back of this one. I just think these are so fun, and I am definitely going to be making a couple more of these now that I have found a way to customize it in a way that I feel more comfortable wearing. I am probably actually for the next one going to make it just a little bit smaller so that it is more cropped. And if you were to want to bring this in a little bit more here in the waist, you could easily put some type of like brooch or pin or like shawl pin, or even sew a button right down here like under your bust line, where it's going to be a little bit smaller than say if it was around my tummy. I like it right up here, more that like empire waist, and that would be something I could do to bring it in and tuck it in a little bit tighter as well. And you can definitely have as much fun with these as you want. I am going to be making some that are more plain because I want to wear them to kind of winterize some of my other clothing. I wear a lot of dresses at work, and I just want to be able to pop some of these on, you know, not have it like competing with the print on my dress. So I'm going to be doing some solids, and I'm also going to be experimenting instead of the granny stitch with a solid. But with that, I might end up using something that is, you know, a finer yarn weight, like a 2, in order to get that softness and that drapiness and not have a thick cardigan. I am not telling anyone how to dress or telling anyone how to feel comfortable. I am very pro body positivity. I am on a journey myself to feel very comfortable in my own body and in the clothes that I wear around it. So I don't want anyone to feel like if they want to wear a big sweater that they can't. I'm not telling them anything like that. I want you to feel comfortable. But this has helped me. For me, I just feel a lot sloppier, and like I said, I'm a pretty short gal. So when I wear a big, chunky, oversized sweater, I feel like I just like look even shorter and then even wider. So for me, these have been a few great things that have helped me feel comfortable being able to wear this trend. And I think another thing that will help me too, like I said, this was one that was going to be more fun. I think a thing that will help me as well feel very confident wearing these smaller, more tailored cropped hexagon cardis is doing them in like a plain color, so that it's not necessarily drawing as much attention as this one does. I think this is going to be kind of a short video, and I know there is probably a few other details that I should have added into this, but I am having trouble coming up with right at the moment, so I do apologize for that. If you have questions, please, please, please leave them in the comments, and I will answer everything to the best of my ability. Like I said, I appreciate you being generous with me with your patience, because I am recovering and feeling, still a little bit under the weather. So I will do my best to make up for it in the comments. I will also go ahead and link the video for you if you would like to know more about this yarn. I know by the time you are seeing it, Halloween is just around the corner, but it is definitely a fun one, to pick up now to have for next year as well. So as always, you guys, thank you for talking yarn with me. I appreciate you. Bye.